When Wrecking Ball Legursky wants his wrestling news, he turns to the Squared Circle.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is January 13th, 2015. You're watching once again the award-winning Squared Circle. I'm none other than Hollywood J. Williams, the biggest icon in North Haven, as usual, joined by Mr. John Zimmerman and Dangerous Dan Hoff, gracing our presence yet again on this fine Tuesday evening. Lots to get to tonight. Once again, also presenting the Squared Circle Television Championship.
PWA.
The Squared Circle PWA.
Squared. Correct.
Correct. I have to get that right. I don't want any German.
Yes. German hammer coming down on
coming
you.
down on me. That's for sure. To be defended, the finals. Excuse me. The finals of the tournament happen March 28th.
Big day.
Big day. Bristol, Connecticut, PWA's return to the scene. Troy Stevens versus Lucas Sharp. We're going to get a champion.
Yeah, we're going to get a champion on that day. And on a personal note, Jacob becomes a man that day. We're having his bar mitzvah earlier in the day. So it's a big day for the Zimmerman household.
Big day for the Zimmerman family. That's for sure.
Jacob will officially be a man. So maybe he can fight for the title. That's to be determined.
Maybe one day.
The Utes are back in session. As of yesterday, the PWA Utes are back, and they're in fine form. I was there yesterday watching the young boys and girls working out in the ring. We got a new young lady joined us yesterday, and it's shaping up. It's balancing out the number of male to female ratio. So I think we're going to have some young divas coming up, and some superstars as well.
We'll have a youth diva division, potentially.
Yeah, he's got more youth divas than he does main roster divas at the moment. So.
Hey, up and coming,
definitely. Yeah. So it's never too late to sign up. Get down there. PWA, Pro Wrestling Academy CT.com.
Definitely.
The place to go.
Definitely, but. While they're on hiatus, we look towards the Royal Rumble, we look towards Fastlane coming up in February, we look towards WrestleMania 31, but specifically with the breaking news coming out of yesterday on Facebook, Twitter, all kinds of social media, and then confirmed last night on WWE Raw, we have the first official inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2015. For years and years and years, the wrestling community has been outraged. This man has not been inducted into the Hall of Fame as of yet. A lot of speculation as to whether Vince McMahon was upset with this man, that he would never get inducted ever. It would be a cold day, and you know what have you. But the time has arrived, and mark your calendars, because it'll be Saturday, March 30th. When history is made for the WWE Hall of Fame. I am talking about none other than, oh yeah! That was a really hard one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let me try that again. Oh yeah!
You want to try?
Don't do that again.
Oh, yeah. Dig it!
A little closer. Impressions are not your forte. Sorry.
Dig it. Man, Randy Savage goes in. The first inductee. That was horrible. I know. Sorry, Randy.
He even forgot the hand gesture. Come on now.
Dig it. Yeah, maybe I need a colorful outfit like that. It'll work better.
I know a seamstress to hook you up. Might take about a year or so, but.
Oh, I see. Is that seamstress in our audience right now, by any chance? Randy Savage has been announced as the first inductee to the WWE Hall of Fame. Savage's brother, WWE alumnus himself, Leaping Lanny Poffo, said this about the whole matter. Now I just feel relieved and all the fans are happy, and now they're going to have to find other things to complain about. Before his passing, Savage had stated he didn't want to be in the Hall of Fame unless it was with the Poffo family, meaning Lanny and their father Angelo.
Yes.
WWE CEO Vince McMahon said this of it: Randy Savage was one of the most iconic superstars in WWE history. While millions of fans around the world mourned his passing, they will now be able to celebrate his rightful induction into the WWE Hall of Fame. This is long overdue.
Yes, it is. You know, what's even more long overdue is a physical building where fans can actually go and, you know, enjoy it. You know, you can go to the Baseball Hall of
Right.
Fame in Cooperstown. You can go to Canton, Ohio, and see the Football Hall of Fame, and, you know, various other sports. I know there's a hockey one. Basketball Hall of Fame is not like just an hour from us
In Springfield.
in Springfield. Yeah.
Right.
And you know, I would love to be able to go in and see, you know, like some of Randy's colorful costumes, you know, and different, you know, memorabilia and stuff. And I think it would be a nice draw, right?
Sounds good to me.
Or even like, you know, I've seen like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame sponsors a bus every now and then that has some of the memorabilia, and they drive it around, and you can, you know, walk through the bus, and at least something, you know, maybe outside of some of his events, have a traveling Hall of Fame where you can walk through a bus or a trailer and see some of the memorabilia. Because if you've seen any of those old videos, especially on the network, you know, they have IRS walking through like the old warehouse, and they have everything.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and to see some of that, and if they rotated some of the exhibits, it would, you know, make people come back, want to come back. You know,
You see
if it
more
was-
and more and more.
Right. You know, and you don't need a huge building to show everything you have. You know, it would be a reason to go back again if they kept changing it up and say, you know, a WrestleMania time they can have a huge WrestleMania exhibit. And,
Oh, definitely.
You know,
They always
every
have the access weekend before the weekend of WrestleMania.
But you know, they can deck out the
there.
physical Hall of Fame with
Right.
WrestleMania stuff, and you know, celebrate different eras and different you know, figures.
Right.
I think
one day it'll happen. It's last I knew about that whole situation was Orlando Universal Studios.
Yeah, well, that fell through, but I obviously it would have to be a heavily trafficked area, much like Orlando or New York City.
Or Las Vegas,
Vegas, yeah,
perhaps.
Vegas would be a good spot.
Mhm.
And I think it would be cool just to be able to walk through and enjoy, you know, some of the memorabilia, especially for the guys that are no longer with us.
Definitely.
Of course, now it is a tremendous thing that Randy's going in, but as you just read momentarily, it's he wanted it done with Angelo and Lanny. Are they going to be put in? And what are your thoughts on Hulk Hogan being the one to induct Savage?
I think it's a good choice to have Hulk Hogan induct him. They've been best friends on and off, on screen, off screen, for since Randy Savage debuted in 1985 in WWE.
Yeah.
So I can't think of anybody better to induct him. I don't know about Lanny and Angelo going in this year, if they're going to go in themselves, or what the deal is with that. I know that was Randy's wishes. I mean, it would be nice to, at least if they want to induct Randy separate, have them go in maybe as a father and son pairing.
Well, I don't believe,
At
at least Vincent Kennedy McMahon, I don't think Vincent, you know, had any dealings with Angelo. I think maybe in his father's day, Angelo fought in the old WWF.
I think, yeah, back in his father's day.
Yeah, back in the day. But and you know, and no disrespect to Lanny, I mean, he was nowhere near the superstar of Randy's caliber.
Absolutely not.
You know,
I-
and
I don't
likewise,
even-
anyone
did
else.
he even make it to the Intercontinental title? I'm not even exactly
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, you know, he was in the WWF back in the day, and you know, he was a mid-card wrestler. He was never, you know, the champion. He was never up to the level of the other inductees that are already in
Right.
the Hall of Fame. So, you know, it would have been just nice to follow Randy's wish to put in the Poffo family, but you know, Randy's the guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean, you can, you know, I'm on the fence about it. You know, I would have liked to seen it just because
That's what
that
Randy
was
wanted.
what Randy wanted. But you know, outside of like our circle of Uber fans,
Mhm.
you know, if you were to walk up to just the average fan on the street and say Lanny Poffo, they'd say, "Who's that?" You
Right.
say Randy Macho Man Savage, they know who it is.
They wouldn't know. A lot of people didn't never even realize that Lanny Poffo and Randy Savage were even brothers.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you know, it just, you know, Randy was definitely in a class by himself, and I think that's really where the decision lies. Is, you know,
Right.
put him. He was the superstar. You know.
That's probably what. That was probably the whole hang-up is maybe Vince wanted to have Randy in by himself,
Yeah.
and Lanny wanted to just go along with what his brother wanted, and that might have been some of the delay over
Yeah.
the last few
Yeah.
years since
Yeah.
Randy passed.
Now it's interesting to see if Lanny shows up at the event, and if he's invited on stage to say something on his brother's behalf.
I think what I had heard on the internet, what Lanny was looking for was some kind of expression of condolence about their father. I think something like that.
Okay.
Right, from Vince McMahon. Whether it was for Randy and their father or just their father, I'm not exactly sure. But if something like that were to happen, then because you know who's going to accept the award on Randy Savage's behalf?
Right.
And
That's,
then Elizabeth never had any children together, and with both Randy's parents being gone,
Right.
Randy would be
Randy's-
the only one
yeah.
to really accept it.
right. Well, what do you think?
With Hogan being the one to induct him, and us hearing rumors early on how Hogan still wanted that one last match, that one moment in the spotlight. In the back of my mind is that little voice saying, "Well, is Hogan going to try to springboard this into his one last WrestleMania moment?"
I think the WrestleMania moment, if he really wanted it, would be something totally separate.
I don't know. Hogan's got quite an ego,
We all know
and I can say that being that back in the '80s, one of the hugest Hulkamaniacs. But so I wouldn't be surprised, brother, if he didn't try to pull something off.
Well, we never found out. You know what you're going to do when Hulkamania runs wild over you.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. We never
we
found
never
out.
found that out.
We're still waiting to find out.
Hulkamania's never run wild over me.
we're gonna have to find out what you're gonna do.
Yeah. So I guess I'll cross that bridge when if I ever did come to it.
Right.
Interesting facts about Randy Savage. I was born Randy Mario Poffo, November 15th, 1952. He died May 20th, 2011. Married to Elizabeth Hewlett Poffo. Miss Elizabeth, from 1984. They divorced in 1992. And had a second wife, Barbara Lynn Payne, who he married the year prior to his death in 2010. Sad enough to say.
She was in the vehicle with him when he had the accident.
Really?
I believe so. Right? Yeah.
She was in the vehicle with him
Yes.
and must have sustained injuries herself.
Yeah, she survived, but
Right. All right. WWF career expanded from 1985 to 1994. Intercontinental champion from 1985 to 1987. I don't know if it was 2 years straight or it was separate.
right, if he dropped it and got it back.
He dropped it, got it back. Do a little more research on that. He was the WWF at the time champ. Also forming the Mega Powers with Hulk Hogan, 1987 to 89. Won the King of the Ring, turned heel, developed the Macho King character, switched it up a little bit, got rid of Elizabeth, was hanging out with Sherry Martel.
I love Sherry Martel.
Sister Sherry, I always loved her too.
Scary Sherry.
Scary Sherry.
Loved her. Loved her.
Had a retirement in 1991. That was 89 to 91. Returned, and he returned to the ring. He feuded with the Ultimate Warrior 1991 to 1992, and commentated. He was one of the original commentators on Monday Night Raw, I believe.
Yeah.
It's sporadic matches here and there. I remember a not so notable match against Crush in 1994, and departed the company in 1994. Then went off just like a lot of other people did, with Hulk Hogan's kind of influence being in WCW at the time, and signed with Ted Turner in his World Championship Wrestling. Had a second notable feud, as he did with him in the WWF with Ric Flair. Quote, departed the company, unquote, in 1996. He returned with the New World Order. First of all, being one of the big opponents of the NWO, and then joining the NWO, which made really no sense at all.
Can't beat him, join him.
Can't beat him, join him. He was taking a whooping from the NWO.
Yep.
In the NWO's early years, I remember.
A whooping?
A whooping.
A whooping.
Well, you can't say it. We gotta be politically. We gotta be family friendly.
Or G.
That was 97 to 98. Formed Team Madness. He was part of the Millionaires Club, which were all the established people in WCW versus the up-and-coming young talent, and that kind of... It was cool to begin with, that Millionaires Club, New Blood feud. Didn't really last too long. That was 98 to 2000. He even competed in TNA from 2004 to 2005. That's the breakdown. That basically sums it up in a nutshell.
Yeah. I don't remember his run in TNA.
Right, it was before TNA was even on Spike TV.
Okay.
When they were doing their monthly pay-per-views.
Oh, okay.
Right.
And then, of course, outside of that, he appeared in numerous movies. Spider-Man is Buzzsaw McGraw.
Yes.
Buzzsaw McGraw, huh?
Yeah.
He was also a baseball player at one point.
Yeah. He was in the minor leagues and was floating around the minor leagues and wasn't being called up to the major leagues.
Right.
And the story goes that he drove home and busted all his bats on the tree in his front yard and went to wrestling. Because if he couldn't be the best in baseball, he didn't want to do it at all.
He didn't want to do it at all. He just decided to just quit
Yeah.
and joined.
Turned to wrestling.
Turned to wrestling.
And here we are. Hall of Fame.
His dad had great success at it, so he figured maybe he'd be able to follow in his father's footsteps.
Yeah. They said he was a decent ball player. I think there was an injury involved that kept him out.
Right.
And then he could have stayed in the minor leagues and just like floated around there, but he decided that if he couldn't make the main roster, then forget that. And baseball's loss is
Was wrestling gain.
Yeah, Vince McMahon's gain.
Vince McMahon's serious gain, that's for sure. So that is it. Congratulations to the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah, well, in the coming months, we'll see how it plays out.
Right.
Leading up to the night before WrestleMania, and we'll see if Lanny Poffo has some involvement with the ceremony
Definitely.
and where it goes from there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Any
But
speculation on the next announcement?
I don't know, because I wasn't really banking on Randy Savage I was, just not for this year. So I was going with, I figured the top two inductees would be The Undertaker and Sting. Seeing as The Undertaker, I don't really think The Undertaker can go anymore.
Right. I had heard rumors and in the wind, The Rock.
For this year,
Yeah.
I would think he'd be the headliner
Right.
for 1 year or another.
Right. But I mean, there's and again, Savage can't show up. The Rock can.
Right.
So you might have both of them in there just to have that star power,
Right.
you know. And then people would speculate, well, he's going to be there the night before WrestleMania. Maybe he'll make an appearance at WrestleMania.
Right.
So
There's
you know,
always that.
it's all about, you know, drawing viewers and buy rates and, you know. And
Who would you pick, Dan?
As much as I enjoy Sting's work, I don't know, having not actually competed in a match yet, if you can put him in a WWE Hall of Fame. Wouldn't you have to compete in a WWE match? Savage worked his tail off. He was, you know, the elite, the cream of the crop. He earned that spot.
In theory, you really should have competed in a WWE match, but just out of the fact that they bought the World Championship Wrestling and out of respect to the WCW brand, that would be.
Wait a minute. Don't give me the out of respect to the WCW brand, because when they first bought that company, bought it out, what did they do to all the WCW guys when they brought him in?
buried them.
They buried a lot of them.
All right, so don't give me out of respect.
That was a long time ago. You know, you got to turn the page.
I think, if I may, I think that what you're trying to say is maybe out of respect for the legacy of Sting and his entire career. You know,
which
what
wasn't WCW.
right, what he had brought to the wrestling world overall, not just the WWE. You know, I think that it can be viewed as his contribution to wrestling overall. And,
Yeah.
and I think it really says a lot to his character that he never jumped ship and took the offer from Vince until now. You know, he could have made a lot more money if he had bailed on WCW
Right.
and come to the WWF or WWE.
Definitely. He stayed true to his brand.
Correct.
Definitely. We have a call here. Live on the Squared Circle.
Hello guys, how you doing? It's me, Roberto.
Hey,
Hey,
RJ.
Roberto.
Roberto, what's going on?
Not much, just here recovering. I will be seeing the doctor tomorrow, and I should be back very soon. But I'm just gonna go through recovery, then I got therapy to go to, and then I'm just gonna do what I have to do, and I should be back soon.
Yeah, we've been watching your posts on Facebook, and you and I have been in communication here and there, and we're 100% behind you, and we're watching your progress, and we cannot wait to see you back in PWA and moving your way up to the main roster.
Oh yeah, I know, I can't wait either. But just gotta take it easy and do what I gotta do,
Yes, sir. And I can't wait till you get your hands on this belt, brother.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
Gotta come check it out.
It's a beautiful piece of hardware.
Yeah, I got to see it on, I re-looked that up on YouTube, and I saw the way the butt looked. Can't wait to hold it.
Yep.
Oh, it's beautiful.
How are you guys doing?
We're moving right along. We're doing great.
That's good, that's good. I have to watch, been watching wrestling all over, been watching people's podcasts and everything, and a lot of posting everything around,
Yeah, I know you're very busy, and I see a lot of the stuff that you're posting, and I'll tell you, you're a busy guy following not just the WWE, but the independents, and you got to come back on the show and
I know.
help us out here.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll be back soon.
What do you think of
Yeah,
What do you think of Randy Savage, the announcement of the Hall of Fame?
Randy Savage, I am really, really happy that they actually inducted him to be the first one. And that was my mom's, like my grandfather. He's not around anymore, but that was his favorite. And I also idolized Randy Savage, so he's one of my favorites. I always go back and watch all his matches. I'm really happy that Hulk Hogan is actually the one inducting him into the Hall of Fame. And we just have to wait and see who else gets inducted this year. I'm wondering if Undertaker will be the next one.
Yeah, we were just speculating on that.
I'm kind of leaning towards that.
I'll predict The Rock. I'll predict The Rock. That'll be my call.
Yeah, and how Raw went last night. but I think I enjoyed it. The only thing I didn't like was the beginning of it, but towards like the end with the Dean Ambrose promo, and then towards the end when Seth Rollins curb stomped John Cena and Brock Lesnar, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm pulling for either Brock Lesnar or Cena to win, and then Seth Rollins to end up probably cashing in the Rumble. I won't give I have a lot of predictions for like the Royal Rumble match, so but I'm also real happy that they're moving to Thursday. It's coming Thursday, so and then Daniel Bryan being back in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised at that.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. He really stuck it to Kane.
Yeah.
Really good,
Yeah, I wonder if it's too soon for Daniel Bryan or what, because nobody was really expecting him until maybe the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing that I really, really hate is the fact that I don't think, the Ascension, I really don't like those guys. Those guys, I don't know, they have to go.
They gotta go.
They have to,
It's very offensive.
Like, I literally watched their whole career through NXT, because I've been watching NXT from the very beginning.
Yep.
They had a good run with the NXT Tag Team Championship, beating Adrian Neville and Corey Graves for those titles, but after they got onto the main roster, disrespecting those legends like that, I don't buy into that. That's the only part of Raw that I don't really like to watch.
Ah, come on, that's cheap heat though. It's easy heat. Really is.
Yeah, and it's too and they also said one move that they did was tossing that guy in the air, that was really good. I don't think that move was good at all. I don't buy any of that.
Yeah. Well, it remains to be seen where they're going to go in their career.
Mm-hmm.
But your career is definitely going to be taking off really soon, brother.
Yeah. Don't worry, and I thank you guys for all the support and all the love, and I see you guys. I look up to you guys always. I'm always here. I'm always happy to call, and if I can ever be on, I'll make myself available.
Yeah. Well, you know how to contact me, and if you need a ride, I'm your man. So
Absolutely.
You're always welcome,
We'll
brother.
get you down here.
you're always welcome.
All right, no problem.
All right. Thank you for the call.
All right, you're welcome.
Hey, nice to hear from you, Roberto. And we got another call here.
Excellent.
We
Excellent.
got 2 in a row.
Nice.
Now we got the thunderous one. Hello, Tom.
Hello. Hashtag the authority sucks.
Oh.
Hashtag agree with that, Tom.
Hashtag agree with you.
I just want to ask your thoughts on one thing. How long do you think they're going to drag out this supposed firing of Ziggler, Ryback, and Rowan?
It'll be over by the Royal Rumble or at the Royal Rumble.
Ziggler, I think, is nursing some injuries, from what I understand.
I don't know. I was speculating. Are any of them off making a movie that we don't know about?
Don't know. Didn't hear anything about that.
They weren't in Scorpion King 4, which came out today, by the way. But
They weren't.
a former WWE star, Eve Torres, is in
Scorpion
the
King.
Scorpion King 4. An Oscar-winning performance, I'm sure, that went direct to DVD, starring Lou Ferrigno and 2 UFC stars, Hoist Gracie and Roy Big Country Nelson. So run out to Redbox and grab that right away before it disappears.
Definitely.
How do you think they're gonna wrap this up?
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe they're just gonna do something, old and play out, something you've seen millions of times, and bring them back as like they're not really working for the WWE. They're have them come out of the crowd like an NWO like kind of entity.
Nexus.
Something like that. I could see that.
And of course, Macho Man, we heard that announcement yesterday that he's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Are you glad to see that finally?
Yes, and with no big surprise because before they said who was going to induct him. I knew it was going to be Hogan. I mean, that was a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm. That's a pretty obvious choice.
Yeah, I mean, but overall, what did you guys think of Raw last night?
I just thought it was just your average, ordinary Raw. Didn't really, get too much out of it.
Yeah, it really didn't do anything for me
Yeah,
last night,
yeah.
I gotta say.
Basic run of the mill.
You know what? You know what's actually beating Raw as we speak right now? In my opinion, you'll know.
Well, actually, I wanted to speak with Tom and get his opinion on that because we all know what a diehard critic Tom is of.
Yes. I had some other info to get to, but
Yep.
we have about a half hour left. I was just gonna spring forward right to TNA Wrestling.
Impact has been
Yeah, just goes off for a minute.
wow. Impact has been great since they debuted.
I have to say, I did watch it. And I was very impressed
Yes.
with what I saw with the new version.
Yep.
And it is on Friday night. Is that correct this week?
Yep,
It's a movie?
Friday night at 9 o'clock
Mm-hmm.
on Destination America, which if you have Dish, it's $194. And in your area, Tom, it's on what channel?
I forgot. I gotta look it up again. I gotta make sure it's in my DVR. I said it for last week, and I thought I said it as a series, but I don't see it listed for this week, so I gotta make sure it's in there for Friday night.
Yeah. So far I'm enjoying it. Anybody see the Jeff Hardy bump?
I saw it online.
Yeah. Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Botchamania there, but I hope he's all right.
Well, if Tom Dacey's impressed with TNA, there's promise for TNA yet.
Woo!
If he managed to stay awake for an episode of Impact, I think that's a good thing. He was like really caffeinated up.
What?
Right.
You actually did what,
I
Tom?
actually taped it and watched it the next day, and I actually stayed awake.
Wow.
Wow.
So let me get this straight, bro. You not only watched it once, but twice?
No, I
Just
didn't
on the
watch
tape.
it. I didn't watch it when it aired. I taped it and watched it the next day,
Mm-hmm.
and actually stayed awake.
Really?
Wow.
And you weren't doing
And
any
actually
drugs?
held my interest.
Well, let's hope that it's a good sign for the future for TNA, because we've always said that there's got to be somebody to give Vince a run for his money.
Absolutely, and we've said that a number of times.
Yep.
There's no real competition out there for Vince. Hopefully, this will be some good competition.
Yeah, and I hope Destination America will do some advertising and get some viewers in there.
Well, they're doing some. I don't know if you've seen it, Tom, but they're doing some heavy advertising for this week's show.
I have not seen any yet. They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did some, I guess, during Raw last night, and then I've seen it on, of course, Destination America, and they're doing a lot of online promotion. So they did it on SmackDown's Thursday night program last Thursday.
Thursday,
So they're definitely pushing for it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I know WWE has also really advertised the new night for SmackDown. They're really
yeah, they're driving that home.
The psychiatrist with his blotch, whatever
Right.
you
How
call
did you
it.
like, speaking of that, how did you like the psychiatrist bit on Raw last night?
Oh, that was funny.
Funny.
That was good. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially at the end when he was making him cry.
Thoughts on Total Divas this week?
I don't really have any thoughts on it because I don't really watch reality shows.
It's sitting on my DVR, and I haven't gotten the chance to watch it yet.
Well, let me see it.
Let me just tell you, I think you'll like this episode. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well,
Okay.
to quote you, Tom.
That's what puts Dan to sleep.
Yeah, I enjoy the Total Diva show, so I'm looking forward to it. I just haven't had the time.
Okay, but keep up the great work, gentlemen, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
We'll see you soon.
Well, we'll
Okay.
see you next Tuesday.
Definitely.
You bet your life.
You bet your life, brother.
I have a breakdown of that live special for TNA January 7th.
Okay.
This is what it breaks down to. This is the math for all of you guys that think it's the numbers are really cool. All the dorks out there that crunch numbers. Impact drew 263,000 viewers, translating to a .46 cable TV rating to .2 national TV. It was the network's top-rated show. It has 166,000 adults, 131,000 males 18 to 49 years old, 35,000 females 18 to 49 years old. Also, this special started with a big announcement with Kurt Angle. His big announcement was he was no longer going to be the authority figure GM of Impact Wrestling. He was moving back to in-ring competition, and his first match was with MVP in street clothes.
Yes.
Right then and there. That was it. Also, the return of Awesome Kong. Not so sure I'm too into another Eric Young heel turn, to be honest with you. Didn't really work out the last time.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe and Low-Ki have also joined this group with Bobby Lashley, MVP, and I can't think of his name right now, the other member of that group.
I just had a
Wow. And
Yeah.
you're the big TNA.
I had a wow moment, exactly.
Kenny King.
Kenny King.
Kenny King. Also, the new announce team for TNA is the combination of Josh Matthews and Taz, as Mike Tenay is switching over to the new Saturday morning programming, which I believe, has it already started, or is it this week?
Some has already started, debuted last week. So it is the greatest hits is going. I believe Unlocked hasn't started yet, but will start soon.
Yeah.
Right. So that, in a nutshell, breaks down the first episode of TNA. I happened to watch it on the computer. The first episode of TNA on Destination America. I should reiterate. I happened to watch it on the computer. It takes you. The camera angles are different. To me, I don't know.
They were different. That they're shooting a that was a live show,
Right.
so the cameras are going to be. Are there? I guess it was a different crew than they normally used to film with.
Okay.
So that put them at a slight disadvantage. One of the things I did learn from an online source today is that Mick Foley's kids were in attendance,
Really?
watching it since it was in New York.
Okay.
With Kurt Angle stepping aside from the authority figure, whatever commissioner, whatever you want to say, back into the in-ring product. Rumor has it they tried to get a hold of Edge and bring him in to fulfill that role, but they could never come together on a serious money negotiations.
Doesn't Edge have a Legends contract anyway with WWE?
Not sure if he necessarily does or not.
But I
mean,
did.
He's been recently
But
on
he's been
the
on,
WWE
yeah.
programming.
Yeah.
Mm.
But
Edge and
I did think the team of Josh Matthews and Taz did a great job covering that. Their commentary was good. It was solid. They actually spoke without speaking over the wrestling, letting the product speak for itself, which as a fan I like to see. I don't want to see somebody yelling puppies every 5 minutes
Right,
because
right.
it gets stale quick.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you let the product speak for itself.
I
agree.
think Josh Matthews seems to be very, very happy with his new role.
Yeah.
He's not playing second fiddle to anybody now.
Right. And front row for the most recent live event in New York, the Maruka Boys.
Really?
Yeah, were front row, front and center. So right near where the steel steps are.
Front row for which date? The 7th, 8th, or 9th?
The one with the brawl that started out this
That was
past
the
week.
seventh.
Yeah,
That was
the
this
seventh.
past
Yeah.
week's right.
Yeah.
They started the wrestling match literally outside, and it
Right, and
spilled right in.
I was talking to David, their father, and he's like, they had no screen, so we had no idea of what had happened. You know, they were showing, we saw at home that the brawl started backstage,
Really?
but the people in attendance had no idea. So all of a sudden, here come all the wrestlers,
And they're all already
just having
fighting.
this huge brawl, including up in the balcony and just all over the place.
Everybody's sitting around
And it
waiting
was-
for the event to start, and all of a sudden everybody comes out
Correct.
fighting one another.
Right. So they
And
said they were
everybody's like,
just.
"Oh my God, this is they're not."
They were in a
wrestling."
total, they were in total shock, and just had no idea that this brawl had already started, and then all of a sudden here's everybody just boom, 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 just running out and fighting.
And I understand for the sneak peek premiere, which we saw, the actual first debut is actually this coming up this Friday. We saw the sneak peek, whatever you want,
Yeah.
what they
Right.
call it. That was a near sellout for Lockdown. It was a complete sellout, which will air in a couple weeks. Which that bump from Jeff Hardy that we were speaking of a little earlier took place on.
And that was the Manhattan Center, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Manhattan
hear it's
Center.
not that large.
No, it's not that.
To be fair, calling
To
it
be to be that far, be that fair, it's not that large,
Right.
but still, you sell out. You sell out. That's
Right.
money you're taking in.
Well, yeah, of course.
Exactly.
But, I'm selling out the Manhattan Center compared to selling out Madison Square Garden,
Right. So
or New Orleans, WrestleMania at the stadium.
That was the big trending topic. He took this hard bump off the cage door, from what I understand.
Well, it was more the steps.
Yeah.
The steps.
He,
Yeah.
he avoided the cage door and landed on the steps
Right.
hard.
It was the Hardys versus James Storm and Abyss, and he found himself dangling off the cage door. That's what the report said. From
And we have a caller.
We do have a caller. Yeah, we'll get to this more in just a second.
In depth, yeah.
Definitely. You're live on the air. Is this Bill? Hello.
Hello.
Oh, all right, Jay, you're working the magic with the speaker there.
Oh, we're playing your theme song right now,
I
brother.
finally aced it.
Oh, what's the theme song?
You can hear it here at the studio, but it's going out over the air. The Ultimate Warriors theme.
Oh, Jesus.
Because you're the ultimate fan.
Oh, man.
There it is.
No, that's good. I appreciate it. How's everybody doing tonight?
We're doing okay.
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Good. Yeah, I heard you guys talking about the TNA show. I actually I watched it online. I think I heard Robert say he watched it online too, but I almost thought it was better than Raw in some ways. So
I agree.
I think if they keep on doing that, they're going to be in pretty good condition.
I agree. I'd like to see him just keep building on that and just keeping the quality up there.
Right. You got to keep going. Stay the course with what they're doing. They'll be good.
Stay the course.
Yeah. Oh
Tell
no.
him you think he's
Definitely.
worthless.
And I saw that bump that Jeff Hardy took. That was amazing.
Oh, yeah. He didn't take that one on purpose.
No.
No.
Not Hardy.
What I read, they pretty much said he was out cold.
Yeah. Joseph Von Schmidt had a few words to say about it when I saw him yesterday, and he couldn't figure out what his even if he bumped the way he wanted to, where was he bumping to? The concrete floor? It was just an unusual choice for Jeff Hardy to be in that predicament. And it's
Yeah,
unfortunate
there wasn't
that
a lot of room for error there. It was like either you're going to hit the steps, hit the floor, or hit the guardrail. So none of those are really good options.
Right.
No.
So Joseph Von Schmidt was like, from a professional standpoint, he couldn't figure out what Jeff Hardy's intent was, or if it was 100% botched. But it's crazy.
Well, hopefully he's all right for their big show coming up on Friday. So that should be pretty interesting. Hey, I got a chance to watch Lucha Underground. I pulled up about 4 episodes over the weekend and watched them. And I'll tell you, if you haven't got a chance to watch any of their shows, I thought they do a tremendous job, and they got some great talent there. So if you get a chance, they got John Morrison, who's under Johnny. I think it's Johnny Mundo. They got his feud. He's feuded with the guy Prince Puma, and
then there are a couple other really good wrestlers there, Drago and the Blue Demon, I think Junior. So
Okay.
really good talent over there.
And where can we find that, Bill?
I just went online and pulled up Lucha Underground,
Lucha
and
Underground.
it takes you to what I think it's, I think El Rey Network,
Okay.
and if you just put in Lucha Underground, it'll pull up some stuff on
Right.
Google. You go and look at videos. You can pull it up on YouTube.
Okay.
It all kind of pulls in together.
Yeah.
So really good stuff. You
And,
know?
and from my understanding, Bill, on the El Rey Network, it's the English version by Conan and Vampiro doing commentary. And the channel that I watch it on, when it pops up on Saturdays, I watch the Spanish version.
The Spanish version.
But you're right, the action on that program is off the charts.
Yeah, yeah. I think I was watching a couple of them where they had Matt Stryker on.
Oh, is that where he's ended up now?
Yeah, Matt Stryker and Vampiro were doing it together. And I'll tell you, that had a lot of good synchronicity. I mean, they weren't talking over the matches. Vampiro with, and Stryker with their knowledge of wrestling. It wasn't like it was a very well scripted show. They gave you a little bit of, in-ring, atmosphere with regards to, who's talking to who and who's saying what. But the wrestling was there, and the place they run it from, it's got it's like a stage, and they have like the guy who is the I think El Patron or Mr. Patron, where he comes out of his office and he yells at the wrestlers to tell them to get to work, and it was just very impressive and very theatric, and they had some traditional gimmicks from the Mexican Spanish wrestling, Lucha Libre wrestling, which was very, very refreshing. So
That's a different
I encourage
culture
everybody to-
altogether right down there in Mexico.
Yeah, it's just and the fans were totally into everything. It wasn't one moment of dead space or dead air like you saw on Raw last night, with the exception of Daniel Bryan coming up and pumping up the crowd, and Brock Lesnar getting his head stomped or curb stomped. So.
Well, Bill, what did you think of on Raw last night when Triple H said he was going to give him an original match, and the next thing you know, they're calling for a lumberjack match?
That's nothing original.
How original is a lumberjack match?
I know.
I mean, listen, you guys have been watching wrestling as long as I have, and maybe in some ways longer, and it's almost to the point where it's predictable. You're like, what? They're gonna beat up. What was gonna happen? You're gonna beat up Cena for 15 minutes, and maybe John Cena wins, maybe he doesn't, but you knew at the end somebody was gonna cheat, and he was gonna lose, and. I think the only good angle they have going with that is the fact that Ryback, Ziggler, and Eric Rowan,
Yeah.
are out. And I, from what I see, and from what I'm seeing on the internet, is that they will possibly be in the audience next week and do something, I think, like Jay said, like the NWO.
Yeah.
So, again, fairly predictable going into, some of this stuff. So they really need to really open up and say, hey, let's just kind of throw it out the window. Let's do something different where the fans are just not going to have any idea what's going on. And I think even going into WrestleMania, people are like, oh, God, what's going to happen, A, B, and C. So I think people have already figured that out.
Right, because the big prediction for WrestleMania, the main event, is supposed to be Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. That's what I've been hearing now for months. So
This just in, I got a hot news flash. TNA is going to Europe, and because of his 2009 drug issues, Jeff Hardy can't leave the country. He had to be written off the show for the next few weeks until they return. It was a planned injury.
a planned injury.
Well, if you plan
It was
that,
supposed to be planned anyway.
holy shnikes.
Yeah, nothing like planning an injury after it happens.
Woo.
And coming next week, we're planning to throw Jay out off the top of the roof.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I think next week, there is going to, I could almost, see a monkey running through there and throwing a whole bunch of bananas at Jay, and he slips and falls on him.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, there's no monkeys around here.
Monkeygate.
That's it.
Monkeygate
Hey,
2014.
Yeah, I know, right? One last thing, guys. I don't know if anybody saw this, but former ECW legend Jason Knight has come down with a serious illness, cancer, and
Throat cancer.
I've never
Throat
met
cancer.
him. Yeah, I've never met him. I've seen a lot of his work, and I know you guys have probably met him or dealt with him. But you know, I just want to say, as a wrestling fan, I wish him all the very best. And if he could fight in ECW and do what he did, I'm sure he could really kick the bleep out of cancer. You know.
Well, you know, it hits hard here because it's the local connection with Ron Zombie, Bull Dread, and Joseph Von Schmidt.
Right.
They all trained with Jason Knight.
Nationally, I believe he trained Velvet Sky.
Yes,
Right.
right. And Bull Dread and Velvet Sky were in class together.
Yep.
So, I mean, right here in Connecticut, Jason Knight
That's right.
trained the stars of Northeast Wrestling, PWA, and TNA.
And of course, the various promotions that he ran.
Of course.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we wish him all the luck in the world and keep him in our thoughts and prayers.
Definitely. Hopefully he recovers.
All right, guys. Well, I'll let you finish up the show. Thanks for letting me be a part. Thank you for my theme music.
No, you're
Anytime,
quite
and
welcome.
thanks
every
for-
time you call, we'll have that for you.
Thanks for stepping in last week too, by the way.
Yeah, you
No-
can't
no
have my
problem.
spot, but, you know, I appreciate the assist.
Right.
All right, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Bill.
Because it's just not any spot. It's not a dog name spot. It's John's spot.
That's
It's
right.
John's spot.
My name on the belt. We're not erasing that anytime soon.
No, we're not erasing Williams or Daisy or
That's right.
Zimmerman
That's
for
right.
life. Yeah, there was a lot of the other things I got about that whole bump. It raised concerns about his health issues
Right.
that he had before. You know, taking a serious bump like that. They let him take big bumps like that. They just had the Hardys feuding with Team 3D and the American Wolves
Right.
for the tag belts. So,
Well, you
but
know, I'm sorry.
if that's a work, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it didn't go. If he was planning to take a hard bump, that's one thing. But there's no way you can protect yourself from that. You know, and as I said, talking to Joseph Von Schmidt, there was no way that he could have protected himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and taken that as a legit, you know, safe bump. That was completely unsafe. And you know, maybe he was planning to bump to the floor, but the stairs got in the way.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and review the evidence myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ugly the way he hit, and
Mhm.
he's immediately knocked out.
Definitely.
But you know that leads me to speculate. You know, if he's injured, we know he has issues with painkillers. You know, and you know, once you get onto that cycle again, I hope he doesn't go down that road.
Do we want to? Yeah, I hope not. We don't want to go there again with him
You know.
because there might not be coming back, and I'm not trying to sound negative
Right.
or
And you know the newsflash that I just
What's the
read
word?
is legit, you know, because that happened. We reported it last time that they went out of the country to Europe. 'Cause
Right.
TNA is huge in Europe.
definitely.
And Jeff Hardy couldn't make the trip.
They're
because-
huger in England than the WWE is, and the WWE is pretty huge in England.
Huger. I don't know if
Whoopin'?
huger's a word, but
Whooping
I made a word, okay? Fine, whatever.
down there. Yeah.
You know my point.
yes, yeah, they're more popular in Europe. And the last time they made the trek over the pond, across the pond, so to speak,
Right.
Jeff Hardy was not able to leave the country because of his
No.
legal issues.
No.
So it sounds legit.
Well, how long will that go on for that he won't be able to leave the country?
I don't know what his probation is.
Right.
I'm uncertain on that. One thing we are getting tonight, we're getting quite an education of Jay's linguistic skills.
Yes. Yes. That's okay. He's
You're not supposed to be picking on the. You're not supposed to be picking on the boss, Mr. Hoff.
He's a cunning linguist.
Right.
That he is.
Right. I'm gonna have to issue you a corrective.
We've
Said that
had
very carefully, mind you.
we've had Ebonics. Now we have Jaynomics. You know.
Jaynomics.
Genomics. That's another show. We
You do.
should we plug that?
That's up to you. You are the boss.
Why not? residents of East Haven, Connecticut, anybody from East Haven, Connecticut that is watching this can catch it on YouTube. We also have Good News Now, starring Robert Hoff and myself, Hollywood J. Williams, once a month. We'll be taping it Saturday mornings, and it'll be airing on ETV.
Right.
Right. So check the ETV schedule for the times. Good News Now. All the information you'll need if you're an East Haven resident, trying to make you feel good.
Everything's
Basically.
coming via the Twitter here.
Cover all kinds of town, events, what have you.
What time is it? Oh, before we run out of time, right? This is something that we definitely need to get to. For our tenure here, Nick Gansel has been our
Right.
producer, our right-hand man, the go-to guy for nearly everything. Last-minute graphics, videos, slicing together some footage for us. I mean, just basically anything we need. And I must say that I was very demanding upon this gentleman. And today is Nick's last day with us. And I cannot thank Nick enough. I mean, I really wish him all the luck in the world. He's heading out to the actual Hollywood. And
Los Angeles.
as many gentlemen before him have sought success and obtained it. Most recently, Kevin, who is now working for the WWE. Nick is going to find his future and fortune in the grand city of Hollywood. And
Right.
hopefully he won't forget us and give us a shout out. And if he gets on a film with a famous wrestler, he'll give us a little hookup. So, Nick, thank you.
Maybe
From the
he'll wind
bottom.
up filming for some daytime drama or evening drama, what have you.
Well,
You never know. It's a small
whichever
world.
it may be, I wish you all the luck in the world. From the bottom of my heart, I couldn't be more happy for anybody.
Good luck, Nick.
So, thank you for your help with our show, and hopefully you're on to bigger and better things. So,
Definitely. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Nick. So, 2 minutes left. I don't really have too much blowing off steam, really.
No, just like you said, John. He will be missed around here.
Yeah.
Nick will definitely be missed. He's biggest part, probably a bigger part than any of us sitting in front of the camera.
Yes,
Right.
I mean,
absolutely.
Without
the
a
work,
guy
the work
like
he
Nick.
did without
Yeah.
Nick,
I mean,
there
like,
is
yeah,
no squared circle.
Exactly.
Last minute phone problems, last minute uploading problems for the whole system, and all the technical stuff that we couldn't even begin to imagine, and like running around like a madman and getting us on the air. And it's just fantastic. Mike is joining us, and will be our regular producer. And Mike's got some huge shoes to fill.
I
And,
think so.
As far as my blowing off steam, the stock is down to 1084.
Wow.
It's horrible.
Come on,
Horrible.
stock. Rise up there.
I do not want to see this hit the single digits. I mean,
No,
this
we
is-
don't want that.
Although it's opportunity to jump in and buy some, and hopefully around WrestleMania it'll come back up.
Hopefully.
But we'll see.
You have anything, Dan, real quick, because we're about to wrap up?
No, not really.
Not really? Well,
Up to you, boss man.
thank you very, very much, Nick, once again. So I'm Hollywood J. Williams
John Zimmerman.
and Dangerous Dan Off. Good night and good luck. We'll see you next week.